Today, we welcome to the Global Citizenship Education Interview Series Michael Baldock. Michael is Chief of Staff of the United Nations University and supports the Rector in the strategic management and governance of the university. The United Nations University, located in Tokyo, Japan, is a global think tank and postgraduate teaching organization within the United Nations system. The work of the United Nations University contributes to solving pressing global problems of concern of the United Nations and its member states. Michael was previously the legal and policy specialist at the United Nations University, and he advised the United Nations University on a range of legal issues and supported the executive management of the university in the development of strategy and policy. Michael holds a Juris Doctor degree from the University of California, Los Angeles, and has completed executive education at Harvard Business School. So, Michael, it's a pleasure to welcome you to the Global Citizenship Education Interview Series. Thank you for joining us.
Emiliano, thanks so much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Michael. And we are both based in Tokyo, Japan, and at the United Nations University, also located in Tokyo. You're doing an excellent work in terms of addressing global issues through research and education. And so my first question is a challenging one, and the question is, how does your work at this institution intersect, if at all, with the concept of global citizenship education, global citizens, and the Sustainable Development Goals? And then if you could define, based, of course, on your experiences, the term global citizenship.
Wonderful, great. I can start by saying the United Nations University's work, our main mandate is to support the SDGs through research and education. So the idea of global citizenship, working towards sustainable development, is really the core of what we do. And I might start with one mild correction too. The UN University is based in Tokyo, and our headquarters is in Tokyo, Japan, where I'm based. But we're actually composed of 13 different research and training institutes around the world, each one with a different thematic focus, and each one with a different number of students and researchers. So here in Tokyo, one of the research and training institutes here is the United Nations University Institute for Advanced Research of Sustainability, UNU-IAS. And the core of their work is environmental issues and sustainability. On global citizenship, I think the UN in general and United Nations University really embodies the spirit of this. UN University is a research and training institute within the United Nations system. So we are formally an autonomous organ of the UN General Assembly. So of our 13 research and training institutes, 4 of them offer postgraduate degree programs, either master's degree or PhD. We have around 300 students. And obviously these students come from all over the world. And when they come to UN University, they get an education on global issues in a truly global environment. So we're very happy to be in this quite unique place, both in the United Nations system and in the education space.
Currently, how many nationalities you have represented in terms of students' body? The people from developing countries, from the so-called global north, global south, you have a mix of them. What is the student composition in terms of countries?
You'll have to forgive me. I don't have the exact number on top of my head, but
roughly.
Students from all over the world, and over 54% are from the global south.
Excellent.
And it's the focus of UNU's mandate is to help bridge the gap and help deeply connect the global north and the global south, especially on issues of education.
Yeah, excellent. That's very important work you're doing. And I want to, within this general background that you just discussed, there is an important series that the United Nations University is advancing called the Conversation Series. So this is a public platform inviting experts to share their personal insights on contemporary local and global issues. So, as a chief of staff at UNU, you have facilitated several sessions within this series. So, today, which conversation has resonated most deeply with your values and why?
Thanks for that. Yeah, I think first I'll speak briefly a little on the UNU conversation series. It's
Hmm.
hosted here at the headquarters in Tokyo. Uh, we're very happy that there's such interest in the program, both from the guests we have
Yeah.
and from the audience. It's quite unique, I think, globally, that especially in Japan, to have such speakers from the diplomatic community, scientific community, international affairs here at a public forum that's open to the public. It's a conversation on stage with someone from UN University publicly interviewing the guest, followed by questions from the audience, and then
Yeah.
typically reception. So it's a great chance to make these abstract concepts and figures who might seem far away really grounded in reality and connect to the public. So
Yeah.
we're delighted at the success of the series. And as you said, I occasionally host these myself. Generally, it's the rector of UN University,
Hmm.
Chalitsi Mawala, who's an undersecretary general of the UN and a South African artificial intelligence specialist. So like he's a great interlocutor with these guests, and when he's not available, it's my honor always to host these as well. So
Mm.
in terms of my favorite guest, I would think former Prime Minister of Sweden, Stefan Löfven, it was really an honor and delight for me to host him here in Tokyo. Um, why? I think just his value, his outlook, and his views on the world really align with those of the United Nations. He's an
For
articulate,
example,
passionate champion of multilateralism
mm,
and the importance of international cooperation,
mhm,
which is especially important in this day and age.
mhm, mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. And just to complete on this question, two or three teams emerging from this series. The series now has been going on for quite a while. So, two or three teams that you believe are particularly resonating with the Global Citizenship Interview Series, our discussion today.
If I had to call out three, I should say the work of UN University and the Conversation Series generally spans all 17 of the Sustainable Development
Hmm.
Goals, the framework set by the UN and agreed by its member states of the global targets the world should be aiming for. But to group it in three categories, I might say some of the more interesting themes or more prominent themes might be peace and security
Hmm.
uh, as one, sustainable development and environment as the other, and international cooperation on
Hmm.
education as a third. Partly as a UN entity, by our nature as a UN entity and an educational entity, we get many different speakers on these three broad topics, and they're always quite interesting. It's especially interesting to hear questions from the audience. Here in Tokyo, we have quite an engaged community here, and it's always a delight to
Mm.
hear the thoughtfulness and depth of the questions we get from the audience for these speakers,
Mm,
and,
mm,
and to
mm.
hear the speakers respond generally very passionately, articulately, and convincingly.
Yeah, I was there when Stefania Giannini visited the United Nations University, so I got a chance to ask questions and share one of my books, and it was a very, very good event. So congratulations on organizing such important and diverse events, because as you say, the audience is very diverse. All right, so we are heading toward the end of this conversation. A couple of more questions. One is, could you discuss a couple of major upcoming projects you are involved in at the United Nations University in Tokyo? One or two that you believe are particularly of interest for this discussion we are having today.
Let's see, there's a lot going on. Under the leadership of our new rector, Chalitsi Marwala, we've been quite active and we're actively seeking out partnerships and
Mm,
opportunities to expand. And one we're very excited about that will launch soon, uh, later this year, is a new United Nations University Research and Training Institute in Bologna, Italy.
Oh,
It will focus on artificial intelligence and how it can be used to support the values and the missions of the UN system.
mhm.
And it will also have access to Leonardo, which is one of Europe's fastest supercomputers.
Mhm.
So we're very excited to be playing this link, which is this role, which is so core to our mandate of linking academia and the UN system, and also providing a link between the global north and the global south, which will be a huge part of the mission of this new institute in Italy.
Interesting. Well, I'm very happy to hear about Italy because it's my home country. So,
I guessed, but I wasn't sure.
all right. So, thank you for sharing this. Very interesting. A final question, a challenging one. How would you define global citizenship education in three key words, and why did you choose these words?
That's a tough one. I mean, I'm tempted just to say global citizenship education, say those same three words back. Uh, if I had to choose others, I would maybe say inclusivity, cooperation, uh, and innovation.
Hmm.
Uh, I think
Interesting.
these are crucial to the world today, and sadly, there's not always agreement that these are the values and goals that we should be striving for.
Mm.
So for those who do, I think it's important to be vocal about it and to be active in supporting the values of the UN.
Interesting. Thank you very much, Michael Baldock, Chief of Staff at the United Nations University in Tokyo. A pleasure welcoming you to the Global Citizenship Education Interview Series.
Wonderful, Emiliano. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be here.